and welcome back to So Forth and So On. I am Miss Henderson, and as promised in our last video when we made our bow tie, in this video I am going to demonstrate how to make a pocket square or a handkerchief. And this is the fabric will be matching the bow tie. So in my case, I have my fabric measures 12 by 13. I like the larger size, and you can make them as large or small as you want to. The thing about this piece of fabric here is I use several scraps to make one piece of fabric because this is scrap fabric at this point. I've made dresses, handbags, so many items out of this fabric, so we're down to piecing it together to get a sheet of fabric. So I did piece together several pieces of fabric to get my measurement of 12 by 13. And I think at this point I want to make it 12 by 12, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut this inch here. Since we're making a pocket square, we should have it squared. So now we have 12 by 12. A 12 by 12 inch piece of fabric. Alright, so this is very, very simple. What we're going to do is sew all the way around each corner, but we're going to leave an opening right about here so that we can turn it right side out. One way to remind us where to leave an opening is to put a pin. I'll put a pin here, and I put a pin there, and we have like a 1, 2, 3 inch opening right here. Okay, so we're going to start sewing here and sew all the way around. We'll stop here, and then we will continue from there. So we'll walk over to the sewing machine and have everything set up. And remember, when we first start sewing, we want to back stitch at the beginning and the end so that we can lock the stitch in. I'm using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. The stitch length is 2, and I'm using a straight stitch. When we get to the corner, we want needle down, press a foot up, and pivot our fabric to turn that corner. Press a foot down, and continue. Okay, so once you finish stitching, you just want to iron in your seams to set the seam. Just iron them. And that also helps prepare that part that you're going to fold in once you turn it right side out. It helps give that a head start on that. Okay, so now you want to make sure you clip your corners. So your corners here like this. Just don't go through your stitching, and don't clip anything near that opening that you left. Only your threads, but don't clip the fabric, because you'll need something to turn in. But this, you want to trim down that seam as close to the fabric as possible. And you can use your rotary cutter if you want to. Just make sure you don't go through your stitching. And then here, that's so we can get a nice corner. I find that if I line the line up on my ruler on the stitching line, that helps out a lot. And then I know I'm not going to cut my stitching line. Okay. Alright, so we've trimmed down our seam. I'm going to trim it down just a touch more on this side. And I really hope you give this a try. I think you will be pleased with your results. You will impress yourself. So give this a try. Make one for yourself, and then make one for someone, for a family member or friend. And again, you get to choose the fabric you use. Okay, so this trimmed up nicely. So now, I'm going to find our opening, go inside, grab one corner, pinch it, pull it through, and go to the other corner. Thumb is inside, pinch it, pull it through. Grab another corner, and you do this with all four corners. Pinch it and pull it through, and the last corner, thumb is inside, pinch it, pull it through. Now pull everything through, and just take your time. It'll come through. Give it a little tug and a shake. And you can use your tool to poke out your corners real nice and pointy. Just be careful not to poke through. And go to each corner and poke them out nice pointy corners. And you can use a blunt end of scissors or knitting needle, a chopstick, anything that'll help you poke out that corner. Okay, so once you get your corners all poked out, you can give it a little tug, and see, when you tug it, that opening automatically folds in. If you had cut that off, you wouldn't have anything to fold in. Okay, so now at this point, you want to give it another press. Get everything nice and flat. And give it some steam. You can put a little starch on there too. This is really nice extra fabric from a dress or something. If it's, you know, appropriate or to your liking. You can have a handkerchief, pocket square or ties, everything made. Make it yourself. Okay, so we have it all pressed flat. Now what we want to do is top stitch all the way around. And this time you probably want to start it in one of the corners so when you end it won't show. But when you do this top stitch, you will close up that opening. A good time if you have any decorative stitches on your machine, you can use your decorative stitches for top stitching as well. Remember, needle down, press your foot up, pivot. Needle down, press your foot up, turn your fabric. To where we started. And just did a little back stitch and we're done. Now I'm sure that handkerchiefs has got to be one of the easiest things to make. And there's our handkerchief. Cut our loose threads. And you can monogram these either by hand with embroidery or with a machine. You can put applique on it, and so much you can do. Again, you're only limited by your imagination. Maybe next time I will have learned how the fancy way men fold their pocket squares, and we'll do it like that. But for now, we have, and you would iron this, iron whatever pleats or what have you. But for now, you have a tie and a handkerchief that you made all yourself. Very nice. Very nice. So thank you again for watching. Thank you for liking and sharing and subscribing. And until we meet again, continue to sew forth and sew on. I'm Miss Henderson, and I really appreciate your time. Thank you.